In the headlines, NNPP presidential candidate says new Nigeria is possible. Inaugurate 1,053-member campaign council. Normalcy restored in Lagos after police clash with Yoruba Nation agitators. Central Bank of Nigeria's cash withdrawal limit begins amid concerns over new Naira notes. Away from Nigeria, world leaders condemn anti-government mob attacks in Brazil. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. Beginning with political matters, presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, on Monday inaugurated 1,053 member campaign council with a charge on its various organs to put hands on deck and drive the party to electoral victory. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman also reports that the NNPP presidential candidate and his party goes public to raise what it called needed funds for logistics.
Barely 6 weeks to presidential election in Nigeria. The candidate of the NNPP is racing against time to set up the necessary machinery that will drive his campaign across 774 local government areas in the 36 states of the Federation in what promises to be a highly competitive race to the presidency.
Our political movement, both the TNM, Kwankwasia, and the NNPP levels, is driven by committed and dedicated volunteers who invest their resources, time and energy, bearing in mind that Nigeria's economy is in tatters and income levels are shrinking and the purchasing power is weakening by the hour.
The New Nigeria People's Party is also not losing sight to the fact that it has to raise the necessary funds that would help in prosecuting the presidential campaign in view of scarce resources at its disposal.
We made it a duty that the few convoy that we have, we visit the people. By that, we were able to assess and see the ecstasy of young men and women who show interest, who show love for this great party.
We don't play money politics, but we need a whole lot of money for logistics and to ensure that we succeed fully by the help of God.
That this is time for us to lead, for you to lead Nigeria, because the course is clear and our victory is certain, inshallah.
A 1,053-member campaign council comprising of 6 components, chaired by the presidential candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso, is expected to take the challenging task of mobilizing Nigerians to vote for the party as it kicks off zonal rallies on the 12th of this month. The party says its message is a new and better Nigeria is possible. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has held a town hall meeting at Efurun Uwe local government area as part of his campaign for the 2023 elections. Fielding questions at the meeting, which also served as his presidential rally in Delta State, Obi told his supporters not to vote for tribe or religion, as no tribe or religion buys bread cheaper, but to vote for him and Mars, as he represents commitment and capacity to turn around the country for good. While assuring the people that a new Nigeria is possible, Obi promised not to give excuses but take on Nigeria's problems head-on. The national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, in his remark, said that the Nigerian economy is not working and urged supporters to obtain their voters' cards to enable them vote Peter Obi, whom he said will make Nigeria work again. A federal high court in Kano has directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize and publish Bashir Ishaq Bashir's name as the Labour Party's legally nominated governorship candidate for the 2023 election, along with Alhaji Awalu Abdullahi as his running mate. Bashir, the first plaintiff, had filed a suit urging the court to compel INEC to accept and deem the hard copy of the form EC9 as lawful and sufficient to meet the requirements of Section 29, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act 2022 as a candidate seeking to contest the 2023 governorship election. Bashir argued that since he had won the LP primary election for the governorship on October 20 in Kano, after the voluntary withdrawal of the placeholder in person of Muhammad Raji Abdullahi, and has submitted his name to INEC in accordance with the law, the Commission could not disqualify him. Justice Emen Yunusa, in his judgment, ordered that Bashir and Awal, having fulfilled all the legal requirements prescribed under the Constitution and the Electoral Act 2022, is entitled to all the rights and benefits of their candidature as a validly nominated governorship and deputy governorship candidate of the Labour Party in Kano State. He consequently ordered INEC to accept and deem the hard copy of Form EC9 submitted on 20th October to it as lawful and sufficient to meet the requirement of Section 29, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act 2022 as a candidate. Normalcy has been reportedly restored at the Ojota area of Lagos State after reported unrest involving suspected Yoruba Nation agitators Monday morning. It was earlier reported that a yet-to-be-identified male adult was killed when Yoruba Nation agitators and the police clashed in the Ojota area of Lagos State on Monday. The spokesperson for the police in Lagos, Benjamin Hundeyin, confirmed the death of the unidentified person. Commuters had run to safety in the heat of the pandemonium. Some agitators reportedly came out to demand Yoruba Nation, among others, while the police came out to curtail them, leading to a clash. Security operatives arrived at the scene and shot tear gas to disperse the crowd, while a police van was reportedly burned in the ensuing outrage. Students of Taraba State University, Jalingo, on Monday staged a protest at the school, blocked the Jalingo-Bali Gembu and the Jalingo-Bali Takung Road as part of protest against the institution's no salary, no exams policy. The protest saw students of the institution burning tires around the school and on the major roads linking the state capital, as lecturers of the institution refused to commence examination for the semester. Recall that staff of the institution had last week protested around the school over non-payment of their salaries and threatened a no salary, no exams action. Some communities in the southern part of Kaduna recently came under attacks, leading to loss of many lives and destruction of properties. Survivors and victims of the attack recount their experiences. Ali Ahmed sent in this report from Kafanchang, as presented from our studio.
It was on a Sunday night when most families retired to sleep that the gunmen attacked the Malagung and Sokwang communities in Kaura local government areas of Kaduna State, killing about 40 people. Narrating his ordeal, Nathan Thomas Yashim, who lost his father, stepmother and some relatives, said they were ambushed by the attackers.
10 a.m. and 10 p.m. we saw some van security came and stopped here. After some time they drove around there. We thought those people were to help us because there was a rumor that they would attack our community. Meanwhile, there was an ammo tank here. So that they came through that night, we thought they were for our help, not knowing that it is the evil perpetrators that were busy planning their attack. I was right outside when they started shooting. That is my house. I ran to my father just to rescue them. That was why I left my vehicle, so that I can convey them out of the... In coming here, already they are here. They were just in those, we cannot just say their numbers. They were too numerous.
Another victim, Ishaku Aluwang from Sokong community, said that he was attacked on his way back from his ginger farm by dagger-carrying attackers.
So, kabanin wucin tafiya na, ya ce shi fa lalle ba zai bar ni ba. Sai ya ce zai susuke ni da wukan, sai na roke shi na ba shi hakuri.
I am begging them to spare my life, but he collected the cutlass and attacked me. That's how my hand was macheted, because I raised it to protect my head. I am the largest farmer in my community, but the attackers have ruined my life. I don't know where and how to start from, because I depend on farming to earn my living. They have reduced me to square zero. An aged woman, Elizabeth Joel from Sokong, said the attackers came to her room and asked her to leave immediately or she will be killed. After the attack, military men were deployed and stationed around the communities. The community called on the government to do the needful to bring back peace to the communities and bring the culprits to book.
Federal Safety Corps has confirmed the death of 12 persons with 5 others sustaining injuries in a road accident in Sokoto. FRSC Sector Commander in the state, Kabiru Yusuf Nadabo, who confirmed the incident on Monday, said that the accident occurred Sunday evening at Madake village in Shagari local government area of the state. He said that the incident involved a Mitsubishi van carrying 17 persons and loaded with bags of maize, guinea corn, other items. The FRSC Sector Commander said that the vehicle fell into a ditch, adding that 12 persons died on the spot, while 5 others sustained varying degrees of injuries. He said that the affected persons had been taken to the specialist hospital, Shagari. Yusuf Nadabo cautioned drivers against overspeeding, dangerous driving, and other unwholesome practices that could endanger lives and property. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at how women farmers fare. Details of this and more after the break.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a look at the top stories again. NNPP presidential candidate says new Nigeria is possible as the party inaugurates 1,053 campaign council. Normalcy restored in Lagos after police clash with Yoruba Nation agitators. Now moving on, despite heavy criticism and alleged non-performance of the present administration by critics and the opposition, the federal government says that the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is leaving behind a legacy of revamped security, social investment, self-sufficiency in staples, and probity, among others. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, stated this at the resumed PMB administration scorecard series, where he described claims that the Buhari government achieved nothing in other sectors and only a little in infrastructure as false. The report.
The 16th edition of the President Muhammadu Buhari scorecard series opened with the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, saying beyond infrastructure, the president is leaving behind unprecedented legacies of development that have enhanced the quality of lives of beneficiaries.
Our pace-setting social investment programs like Empower, school feeding, conditional cash transfer, and GEP, that's Government Enterprise Empowerment Program, have benefited millions of our citizens, both young and old, and this can neither be trivialized nor denied. The Buhari administration is leaving a legacy of putting Nigeria on the path of self-sufficiency in many staples, including rice.
Mohammed added that the current administration has ensured inclusiveness, especially in the areas of infrastructure and social development.
There is no state in Nigeria today that is not witnessing at least a road or a bridge or a housing project, not one. The Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning has also told us here how Mr. President approved tranches upon tranches of funding to states, irrespective of their party affiliation, to enable them meet their obligations to the people. What of the legacy of the Second Niger Bridge? Building that bridge almost 60 years after the commissioning of the Niger Bridge.
In the fight against corruption, he says the administration has exposed and put on trial those found culpable, as well as enacted laws that have strengthened the war against graft.
The EFCC, the ICPC, and other anti-corruption agencies have gone beyond merely arresting and prosecuting alleged corrupt officials to institutionalizing the fight against corruption through various programs. The Buhari administration is leaving a legacy of enacting landmark laws, including the Harmonized Mental Health Bill and Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Bill, both of which have been signed into law by Mr. President.
The minister says although naysayers will always want to amplify the negatives of the present government and try to twist the records to suit their narrative, the PMB legacy of unprecedented development across all sectors in the past 7 years cannot be written off. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Women farmers are major stakeholders in Nigerian agriculture industry who contribute a lot to the country's food security. Ibrahim Ismail speaks to a woman farmer in Gombe State on successes and challenges she faced during the 2022 farming season.
Esther Sampson is a Nigerian farmer based in Gombe State. During the 2022 farming season, she cultivated beans and maize. As a woman farmer, Esther used to support her family from the farm produce she cultivates, as she often gets bumper harvest even at a small scale level.
Ni sai dai in ce na gode Ubangiji saboda maganan awu bana ciki.
I thank God because I don't buy grains. I support my family and other people from my harvest. I don't depend on my husband.
A cikin amfanin da na noman nan zan biya bukatuna ba tare da na takura masa ba ko na jira shi ba.
As a woman farmer, Esther is facing difficulties ranging from high cost of fertilizer and other farm implements to discrimination because of her gender. This, she said, could be part of the reasons she couldn't attend a bumper harvest last year.
Takin da kake saya ka sa zaka nemi mutane kana gudun karka nemi maza mata.
If you approach some men, they will not agree to work on your farm to apply fertilizer. Even some young laborers will say the farm is not yours. If they leave you alone, there is problem.
In aka bar maka kai kaɗai ka sunkiya a matsayin ka na mace, namiji bai tallafa maka ba. Gaskiya akwai matsala.
Despite all the hiccups, the mother of two believes that if given the required support, women can contribute to Nigeria's food security.
Gaskiya inda za a tallafa a ɗaga mu mata.
If they can help us, we can contribute a lot to food security. I can do a lot personally to ensure food security.
In dai har aka ɗago mu aka taimaka mana nan gaskiya za mu ba da mamaki.
According to Women Lead Agriculture in Nigeria, women smallholder farmers constitute 70 to 80% of labor force in agriculture, but are said to be battling limited access to farmlands and credit facilities. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Time now for us to take a quick break. The news update continues shortly. Join us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Daily Trust presents 20th Daily Trust Dialogue. Theme: Interrogating the 2023 Presidential Agenda. Panelists: Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, Professor of Political Science and member of the board of the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD. Dr. Yetunde Anibaba, Lecturer, Analysis of Business Problems, Lagos Business School. Dr. Eugene Enahoro, Human Capacity Development Specialist and CEO, Heltoni Services Limited. Date: Thursday, 25th January 2023. Time: 10 a.m. Venue: NAF Conference Center and Suites, Gwarimpa Expressway, near Next Shopping Mall, Kado, Abuja. For sponsorship and branding participation, contact 081 00 49 1948, 081 65 32 0660, or 080 33 92 8902. The event will be broadcast live on Trust TV.
Welcome back from that break. Now, moving on, the cash withdrawal limit set by the Central Bank of Nigeria became effective January 9, 2023, amid concerns over the slow spread and quality of the newly redesigned Naira notes. The CBN had on December 6, 2022, ordered deposit money banks and other financial institutions to ensure that weekly over-the-counter cash withdrawals by individuals and corporate entities do not exceed 100,000 and 500,000 respectively. But the Apex Bank on December 21, 2022 adjusted the weekly cash withdrawal limits to 500,000 naira for individuals and 5 million naira for corporate firms. There have been concerns from many Nigerians over the slow spread of the new Naira notes as the January 31, 2023 deadline approaches, but the Apex Bank has insisted that the date stands. The CBN also recently directed commercial banks to halt over-the-counter payment of the new notes and load their ATMs with the redesigned Naira notes to boost circulation. On concerns over the quality of the new notes, the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting PLC recently said that the newly redesigned Naira banknotes passed through the same printing processes as the others in circulation. Away from Nigeria now, the President Joe Biden has criticized Sunday's attacks by supporters of ex-President Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil as outrageous, as condemnation poured in from around the world against mobs that smashed their way into the halls of power in Brasilia. Biden issued his one-word verdict to reporters before later tweeting to assure his support to Brazil's new leader, Luiz Lula da Silva, after pro-Bolsonaro rioters broke into Congress, the Supreme Court, and the presidential palace in Brasilia to protest the far-right incumbent's loss of power. As part of an outpouring of support for Lula after the stunning scenes in Brazil's capital, Argentine President Alberto Fernandez also condemned the coup attempt by supporters of Bolsonaro. Fellow South American leaders in Chile, Colombia, and Venezuela deplored the mob action, and French President Emmanuel Macron tweeted his support for Lula, the leftist who took office as Brazil's new president a week ago. The European Union's top foreign affairs official, Joseph Borrell, tweeted that he was appalled by the acts of violence and illegal occupation of Brasilia's government quarter by violent extremists. And in sports news, Kenya on Monday appealed to the Confederation of Africa Football to be included in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Kenya was excluded from the tournament after FIFA suspended the Kenya Football Federation in February last year, accusing the government of interfering in the sport when it disbanded the national governing body. But FIFA agreed to lift the suspension in November last year, following the Kenyan government's decision to reinstate FKF, which had been dissolved over suspicions of corruption. Kenyan Sports Minister Ababu Namwamba told a visiting FIFA and CAF delegation that the government was not interested in being involved in direct management of football, but only ensuring the sport was run properly. Before the suspension, Kenya had been drawn in Group C of the qualifiers, which kicked off in August last year. Alongside Burundi, Cameroon, and Namibia, CAF legal counsel Nadim Magdi, who was part of the delegation, said that the continent's football governing body will meet soon to discuss Kenya's request. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching.